What's up, guys, and welcome back to my kitchen. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby, and today we're making bread. Let's get started. Now you might be thinking, hey, what the heck? I thought that you had to eat low carb, and how does bread fit into that low carb? Well, this recipe comes from Keto Connect, a YouTube channel and a couple that I have watched for a long time. I am going to try making their coconut flour bread recipe. I'm going to be changing up their recipe just a little bit. I have their recipe right here on my computer. I will be omitting the rosemary, garlic powder, and onion powder. The recipe that I'm using today, it can be found on ketoconnect.net. All you have to do is type in coconut bread and it'll come right up. I will also link it down below and paste it down below so that if you want to make it yourself, you should. So for this recipe, you will need a whopping 6 eggs, a stick of butter, and half a cup of coconut flour. Okay, so the first step is to combine your dry ingredients. Since I've taken out all of the seasonings, I do not have a long list of dry ingredients, which makes this a very simple bread recipe. So you need a half a cup of your coconut flour. Then I need one teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda. Then it says to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt. I don't have any of that on hand. I haven't been able to find really any recently that's not like $50 a pound. So I'm just using my regular salt. Done. And then you mix. Okay, now the next step is to crack your eggs, obviously. And then it says to beat with a hand mixer until you see bubbles at the top. So, pretty simple. And we have bubbles. Now the next step is to take your melted butter and slowly add it to the eggs as you stir. The next step is to add your dry ingredients into the wet. And I just want to reiterate, I did not put any rosemary, garlic powder, or onion powder into my dry ingredients. Although that is what the recipe calls for, I didn't want a savory bread, so I omitted it. And we mix. I'm not gonna lie, as someone who has made bread the traditional way, with yeast, this looks weird. As someone who has also made cornbread with cornmeal, this looks like cornbread. I don't know. Now the next step is to grease your bread pan. So I just realized that they're recommending using an 8x4 loaf pan, and I kind of checked mine a little too late, and mine is a 5x9. So it's a full 2 inches bigger than what they're recommending using. Okay, so to make up the difference, I kind of just squished it over and then squished it over so it has more of a loaf shape. So this goes into the oven and it is supposed to bake for 40 to 50 minutes. So I will check back with you in 40 to 50 minutes. Fingers crossed. Okay, it is done. My hair is up because it's hot. It's something. It's something. I'm going to attempt to get it out. It has been sitting for the recommended 10 minutes, even though it is still a little bit hot, so it might need to sit longer. I'm gonna flip it. Okay. Okay, so it came out of the pan pretty easily. Just slid right out. I'm going to try to cut off a little piece of it. It's still like really steamy and warm. But it looks like bread. I think the smaller bread pan would have made it look more like a loaf. I definitely messed that part up. Let's give it a try. I just put a little bit of butter on there. This is so good. I love that. It has a perfect, nice, bready texture that I wasn't sure if I was going to get that. You totally do. I mean, it's definitely a loaf. The only reason it's shaped weird is because I chose the wrong pan. I'm gonna try it with a little bit of my Penzeys apple pie seasoning. I was gonna do just cinnamon, but I mean, if you can do apple pie seasoning rather than cinnamon, why not? Then I'm going to sprinkle it with just a little bit of powdered stevia. I realize this has a little bit of carbs, but you really can't put liquid stevia on baked bread like you can powdered stevia. That's just weird. That's exactly what I wanted it to taste like. This is exactly what I wanted. This is so good. Next time I definitely would make it in a smaller pan so it's a little bit taller, has more of that bread shape. This will very likely turn into something that I keep on hand. Not only is it easy, it's pretty cheap to make. Unless the price of eggs continue to skyrocket and then you'll have to remortgage your house to afford baking with 6 eggs at a time. But if that doesn't happen, this is very cheap, very affordable, and this is good. You definitely need to try this recipe. Go to ketoconnect.net to find the entire recipe. I will also, as I said, post it below so that you can make this yourself. I absolutely recommend making this. Give it a try. You will not be sorry. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'm gonna eat some bread. See you next time. Bye.